Aken kusun le wanja money. Nse she fe laje. Wanja mo shishiji adeboni. Maya no makase. Aken kusun le wanja money. Eshishi no mo laje o manfo. Aken nga ingbe ni sale. Michon shilafo.
Good morning, Nime, Name, friends of the media, Manbi, the brave and courageous sons and daughters of Nii Bortey. We are indeed humbled by your presence here today. We would like to start this press briefing with a quote from Louise May Alcott, the American poet, and I quote, "Preserve your memories, keep them well. What you forget can never be retold." End of quote. We are gathered here today not to rejoice over an incident-free Plejo festival just this past July, but to dispute an event organized by a bunch or group of warmongers and historical distorters on 21st September 2023. The day, which is said to honor history and the greatest African of the century, Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, rather turned to be a dark day for Nungua, as this group from the Manchekwewe clan and their conspirators decided to do an irresponsible damage to our history, customs, culture, and traditions as a people by installing Nii Odonto Kakaban IV as a self-styled and a self-imposed Nungua Shippi and Tsilefoiatse. Shamefully, that event was characterized by an unprecedented disregard to processes and procedures pertaining to the core cultural settings of the good people of Nungua. To mention a few, the Akwashonche was made to administer an oath to Nii Odonto Kakaban IV at Manjano, knowing exactly that per customs and tradition, the Nii clan house is the venue for such an oath. Secondly, Nii Kakai, the Jengewe Asafoache, the right person to administer the oath at Manjano, was sidelined by an unauthorized acting man Klalu for the event and instead administered the oath in his place. It is a public knowledge that administering any oath by an Asafoache starts and ends with Shippi Agbetekor, Bortey Asafoache. But instead, what did we witness? Your guess is as good as mine. Nime, Name, friends of the media, please permit me to chronicle the undeniable facts and truth backed by history, both written and oral, about Shippi Agbetekor, Bortey Asafoache, Nungua Shippi and Nungua Tsilefoiatse, and also head of the Gadangbe Asafoache men. It cannot be disputed that Bortey Eteneshi was the first child of Bokete Lawe, hence the custodians of the Chile drums, which we learn to Odaitechewe. Similar birthrights apply to our good brothers from the Osokronowe clan, who are also custodians of the Asogo drums. And this is outlined on page 130 of the book, Social Organization of the Ghana People, by M.J. Field, published by the Crown Agents of the Colonies on behalf of the government of Gold Coast in 1940. It is worthy to note that the customary rites, hikpemo or confirmation, performed for any first child of the land in the past and present, to fortify them spiritually and mentally, is performed by the Tsilefoiatse in the person of Shippi And Tsilefoiatse. This rite confirms one's position, secures and qualifies them to perform any traditional rites according to their positions. Nime, Name, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, the question that comes to bear is, how can a man portray himself, a Tsilefoiatse, whilst his authority, the Chile drums, which you can see right in front of me, is comfortably resting in the home of another man? We need not to remind our betrayers and distractors that inasmuch as history is a perishable commodity and disappears as loved ones pass on, every family has a story that it tells itself, that it passes on onto the children and grandchildren. It is also worthy to note that Shippi And Tsilefoiatse led and won the Katamanso Battle of 1826, earning the enviable title Katamanso Berima. This can be traced in the report, where a committee set up by the colonial government to compensate those who fought in the Katamanso Battle referred to him, Nii Shippi And as captain. It is again an undeniable fact that Tsilefoiatse Anan, who was only granted permission to use the name Shippi as caretaker because he was the longest serving Tsilefoiatse after the death of Nii Bortey. Not even did Tsilefoiatse Uwakwa, the first Tsilefoiatse of Ayikue, and Tsilefoiatse Akwaku, himself a Shippi, ever used the name Nungua Shippi. In the book Religion and Medicine of the Ghana People by M.J. Field in 1937, on page 37, he wrote, and I quote, "The appointment of Agbeteko, whose name was Kakai, goes back in history." On that same page, he revealed that Agbeteko, the interpreter of Babu Ulomo, offered himself as a cow for a sacrifice to appease the gods after the town was healed of a smallpox outbreak. Nime, Name, friends of the media, we ask again, where was their Shippi in those difficult times? Was he asleep and now waking up from his slumber? You can answer that question. We want the good people of Nungua and the entire Gadangbe community to know that the title Shippi is not earned by a mere renovation and painting of an old house of Atagbogli, nor by a mere portrait on a wall and labeling it Shippi for Ashia. I repeat, we want the good people of Nungua and the entire Gadangbe community to know that the title Nungua Shippi is not earned by a mere renovation and painting an old house of Atagbogli, nor by a mere portrait on a wall and labeling it Shippi for Ashia. It is earned by dint of fearlessness, hard work, sacrifice, endurance, and countless victories on the battlefield to free your people from the hands of the enemy and make your town habitable for present and future generations. We may admit that our brothers were ignorant and naive of these facts and as such erred. It can, however, be considered in modern times as anyone can name a child Shippi or whatever he may so desire. But what we, the descendant of Shippi And Tsilefoiatse, Osikwain, Osijatakwain, Nungua Tsilefoiatse, Katamanso Berima, Babuna Yelo, Gadangbe Shippi from Mojawe, can't accept is for any man born of a woman to call himself or herself Nungua Shippi or Nungua Tsilefoiatse. As a family, we call on the authorities that be Numo Babulomo, Shiche, King Odafio Welenchi Nungua Manche, whose mother is a proud descendant of Shippi Agbeteko. Nii Bortey the first, the Nungua Manklalu, the Akwashonche, who himself was part of that mess. Lawajase and Nii Oklenjalesani, aka Radikeda, Oblanta Manche, the chief orchestrator and principal actor of that shameful event, to do the needful by calling these people to order, since this act of lawlessness took place under their watch without any recourse to the very people it affects. Secondly, we call on them to direct Nii Shippi Odonto Kakabain the fourth to with immediate effect cease calling or holding himself as Nungua Shippi or Nungua Tsilefoiatse. It is very sad that for the first time in the history of Oyibi Yeleyeli, we saw an Asafoache flanked by a Mancheme, another shameful event which should be of concern to any well-meaning native of Nungua. These betrayers and their puppets are trying to change the very customs and traditions that binds us together and makes us who we are due to their selfish and parochial interests. And we, the chiefs and elders and members of the Nii Bortey clan, won't sit and allow this heinous attack on our history happen. Let me not hasten to add that these history distorters are on the brink of losing the little faith and respect we have remaining in them, and will be brought to book in due time. Nime, Name, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, in recent times, we have swept under the carpet many of such irresponsible and ill-minded conduct by people at the helm of affairs who ought to know better, or in the name of peace. But what we don't want to be forced to revisit is our ancestral and ancient traits, which can be detrimental to the very peace we are enjoying in Nungua now. Another issue which is of great concern to us, and which will also be a great concern to the media and everybody gathered here today, is the 100 acres of land released by the government of Ghana to the Nungua Stool. Sorry, I come again. Another issue which is of great concern to us is the 1,000 acres of land released by the government of Ghana to the Nungua Stool, which has been consumed to its entirety by some hungry land-grabbing syndicate in the Nungua Stool, without consulting the Bortey Manche and the Bortey Divisional Council. We are also aware of the intention of the government, again, to release over 1,500 acres to the stool. And this is to send a strong signal to His Excellency, President Akufo-Addo, Honorable Abu Jinapo, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Henry Korti, Greater Accra Regional Minister, and the hungry land-grabbing syndicate of Nungua, that we have our eyes firmly opened and our ears on the ground. And any attempt, I insist, and any attempt to release this portion of land to the stool without any recourse to the Bortey Divisional Council will be met with a crossfire. We will not hesitate to shed the last drop of our blood to defend and protect what rightfully belongs to the Bortey clan. And we are ready to meet boot for boot and give any group of landguards who will dare us on that day a real showdown. We will end by saying, he who beats the war drum must himself be prepared for war. Thank Thank you. Long live Nungua. Long live Nii Bortey. Thank you very much. Chairman, Kenyame. If you are media, ni ofen wana ekweshie bie. If you are noni warrior block for me fenji. Setting the record straight. Ye Nungua Shippi ni wanuhi akawe ni neke press briefing ne Nii Bortey ji meni release noni watawa ni mo fe mo ale ni eyo wo jiami if you are na kan wolo e je Nungua nyoma ji wo Bortey Tsilefoiatse ni ji Tsilefoiatse Shippi agbeteko igbe Shippi e fane ke ji Tsilefoiatse jibo e ake noji Shippi shimo eje ni chumo poten ni ochu ni okefa omahi ejeta ni ohu kefa omahi ni onye otwa oma emachin eha obi ke wose me ni baba ebapeno shi wona wonu ake wonye mekume ni je manche kwewe ameke amewo Nungua Shippi 21st September 2023 jibeni nekeni chimonete no noni woto wani manfen aleji Shippi kome to pe ayo Nungua Shippi kome to pe ayo Nungua Tsilefoiatse nupa kome to pe ayo inaka moji Shippi agbeteko Bortey Tsilefoiatse ake ni wo fe klomo bi ye Nungua hwani wo yo hegbe ake Tsilefoiatse alo Tsilefoiatse me inoni wo hewale noni manomi noni ji oti ni ha ni neke hegbe Tsilefoiatse akecho wo nyefane odase yile no ni mamo wo fen wo hie oji chilemi ni machine iwo ke ocho ye Tsilefoiatse ni nyefane hewale ne ima mokoshia minifi Tsilefoiatse ke omon yo bi e ani oba aba mokoshika ni obi lo iwale lo ni machine wo fen wona no ni ji enyo won tawo wowo man fen to eno ake ni bp ete no ye Nungua Bortey ake to enjole ewo ke fie wo ke ni bi ko me kosashi wo fi onupa hu e kesan ni ba ojohi owo mi la shinoni ya no efino iwo sani wo wie wo ke wonke wo gbabulo mo ni jishiche wo Nungua mache kin odafi walenchi akwa ashonche ke onupa ni fata ife ake noni te no ejinoku ni ye na agba wo ameche neke mene ni ameke amawie kono noni ji jalesani e amekweni amejaji wo sumo ni wo ba wo hino na ba ake Bortey ewo hino ekun dabi wo fu onupa tamaboni ncho hien wie agbenenwe ke chona wole ake government release over 1,000 acres of land ke has to be specific 976.32 acres of land ineke shipone na release many what we amegbe ake hungry land grabbing syndicates na me yo Nungua stule amejafen ameyi wona wonu hu ake government e buy no ni release 1,500 acres Kenya stule shinon wo call His Excellency President Akufo-Addo, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Honorable Abujinapo, Greater Accra Minister Honorable Henry Korte ake wagbele wo himben afine watanshi na kan keji amba release ne keshpone ni ameha ni Bortey manche ke Nungua divisional Bortey divisional council ali benoni jie wakame baji ojogban ina kan gbile wasa wo hi langard fe langard no baba bo nsa mo hi wake oba pe ojogban wo press briefing yɛfa kuku pɛ ne radon
shi amonupa ji shipi agbeteko ni mona wole wati wena wole na yi na shi ya safaje shipi gbe na mewo shi the name Tsilefoiatse ke Nungua Shippi no be jini gba wona o fa ni bonu shi
Asafoiatse ewo ani amedencha mechon wake de ka Asafoiatse na me recognize ile bo te je me wo fa ni no o enlighten wo
Iradon woye bie ni ameba kedan ni wole ake Shippi ko ejen shi ebe binato asongo ke chile ebe mi no iwo ni ameba obi amesane ake mina ma wo na ameka ma wo manchewe aikuwe Shippi nwoke nakani lo ameke obi amekwete se she edwe so na ameka ke no eje ni baraka sani wonye wo fa no wo ya no wa me no wa sheja no no wa na je na kan no wo fa ne wa ameke damba o momi gbe na ameke ba je no ameke ba manja do han ni efi basa basa tanu bi lo o Iradon no ni jiji to boni o wie ka chon yin oyoku afranga asande she know you afranga asande man papo asan asande ko ni mo fia mo afi to ni ebutoi eja keshin je gbina eje first Asafoiatse ni awoye Nungua ni Nungua na egbeji Bortey agbeteko etetai ababa o dani di manchewe bi na cho aikuwe bi ni awo okuajima no bana Asafoiatse menyo no bana ji ni ji pla no Asafoiatse meno mi yo ni le agbeteko ni ji Shippi agbeteko e agbayan odate mi to sani ko ni won na boni emi yo ni ka bala ke bo to we bi wo wake alonoko ni Asafoiatse wo na achole Nungua ni achole obuna abune jameje ni Shippi agbeteko e kakitan ni keke inyo ebi akete afon no ni afi na kakusunwe no e shabi ko kwa eni abuna abu yo ra che obi jam jengba maje ni le mami side jo je ni ka franga ha le ka ehin shi no nche wo ba ni na ekome ni afranga ka awoke jeje pokem ba kota na ke ba shi ana ehin ni ayon pai ameke dan to komi ba na ke yon pai ka ke yin pai dan awo Tsilefo anwo ke jo tu mi ke ba na atwa no dan agbelo afranga mi dan afa loji kusumi nu ba ni na ni agma e wolo yin no wo efeto mo sane bai na achesane a egoklo anya we sana kwa shi mene wo boto bi wona tu ya won ya ke shi wo fo nu pai wo simoni wo ka wo ma mi be wo gbe ya hun be nu ayele shi ngonwo aso ko eje amentwa aso mene Tsilefo a ngonwo ke cha franga ya meje e ka me ko machine bi e no e balaka o ke na kan ni sana tashi ni akwe bona wa fi ni tu enjola ba wo ka ko ka me ya no wo ka ko ka me ya fi no ku logi problem ni kashi olololo kwa shi mene dan ni mene hu e because ana kashi no ni afie ya banya fe wo na kan ni bi fi na kan e wo je no pe hu mi ya wo rofit se fe ko ni ko sen sa fe ezi anya ona bia ne abanta Tsilefoiatse nuwe ko ni ko no e awatun bi ya folo ake mo fe won la ke boto bi play ni ai won play ni ai si je na kan ni wote antran e ni je oyibi mancheme na wo eje fe an fa ma egbe ko mi ke ya ke mene boto bi ke ama on to ni ya ke mancheme nyo fe je ni je ngowe ke wo wa e pintin wo twa e nu wa bi no ke ba ye ke be wo ke ba ma mi no wo wie fe mo go bo wo to e ona wo ina she agbene wo to ni ma bi ale to wo chika me sumo ni ame white bottle we shin afen wo ko la ba hwe shin bona fi na white ko na me ko no bi na me wo yin me jin e ba to ame ni to ni ba to wo to doji no ni yuemo ni wo yuo no wo yuemo no yuo Tsilefo afranga ke Tsilefo ngo si beni she be o ba sa wo cha no fi oni gba wa bi na ya ke ake gbohin medra she na ma ni o ro adon
o fa de o kwa se boni ni gonte gbla mi Tsilefo afranga ni Bortey kebma alo abe yes abe kebma o da te obi e ke afe ehekusunwe afi o ye chawe wo ni ma je ma afi o ye to na gbe je na ke fi o eyi to ke da je fe akaba Bortey da ke Bortey ke ha o fa de efe clear bo bi kwese efe clear ke ba si mene ka gbe to ye je eyi to ke da je fe akaba bi e je ke Bortey no o ra do
na yi ka bo bi sande o ro adon o Tsilefoiatse wo yu Shippi sande Shippi sande le mo fe o ma ye che Shippi gba ona ti ko ke Tsilefoiatse no ni machine do fe ko Tsile ye ni Nungua man che dio Nungua ja se che dio Nungua ko ason che dio Nungua gbo bulo mo dio Nungua mo fe mo ni yo ma na mi ne ba e ba ne ntu agada ngbe ne ba tun tafache bi taya lo alo kakan lo alo ke wale che baja e ba sha Tsile ko ba sha ni je Nii Bortey no a cho Shippi akutiko ke Tsilefoiatse leni o ba ke o danji ko ngle ko ha na ba sun ha na ba ko ba ja no ba o ke ga o bojo ke ojo ke na ke si o senu lo fi oboni agbene won no ni asongofo ache le hu ekan aji ke Tsilefoiatse kan no be sani asongoche hu ekan ena ewo ni Tsilefoiatse ke ekan no ani asongoche hu ke ekan no je no ko ni ba fe buku na pe gbene je e hani be tomo me pi ji meni amenya mu tu se no anu na le na kan si Bortey we bi e wo ke bo e tafache se bi wo muso wa mo mi na kan hu kasi beni yo anyo ba bo Bortey ni nu wo nu pa ba Bortey ko ni wo yuemo ni wo yuo ke wo messages ni wo ke ya gbo na pa na bi wo sane pa ka wo mi ni to na afi ko na me ya ka me fo le no sana afi na afi ku no won to ni imeje fa le akesi wo be mi nche kra wo be mi nche Tsilefoiatse me nye ba na no machine o ba pa fai je ni wo fe press conference ni wo ka attack moko alo wakashi won to wo jaje wo wi wo sanji nibi ni gba ona ni bi na ke fe wo ne e musu shan ni ko bote mi nu won pa pi ye ame ko me ne ga me nyeme anya wo me je shan na mi nu wole ona boni cho no wo je ni won wake si won we the right thing bia na wo ke prove fa amashi ko gbe na mi ne wa kan kitan ya ka shi boni fe ni mi ne wa je shan na mi ye wo bibi ne ke je bi wo won nye wo ke nye ndoko bọ́ọ̀lù tì wò sani wọ́n fàyè yàkẹ́ àkẹ́ wọ̀ kyẹ̀mẹ̀ ṣe láti kẹ́ yẹn lóko ìnàkànnì náà ṣe láti kẹ́ yẹn sani ànyà amọ̀ mi ní wọ́n protect lẹ̀ ní wọ́n protect nàkà mi yẹ ní wọ́n mi nẹ ní màsí yẹn náà yẹ màsí bí yẹn náà nù wọ̀ yọ adé yẹ nàbù nkún yẹ kò yọ wà sẹ́ bàtún gbọ̀bá náà yẹ kò ní wọ́n fẹ́ wọ́n nàkà sí àyọ àdùkwalẹ̀ kyẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ sẹ́ ní sani yẹ ìbá yẹ.
Ake kita kama mi now ke awo Tsilefoiatse ye Nungua ne ba ka kita e kan Nii Shippi agbeteko e kan le kita kenklen keke kan asongo keke kan le kita Tsile no na cho na ke Nii Shippi agbeteko e cho ke kromo firstborns ni asongo ji be de hwe ni nye kromo biye ase now ni abaka kita aka kita akejo le agbeteko eno ni ba ya round ke te round ahun ni aka mo fe mo kan na baba agbe na ye agbete ko ile eno kele kan iwe kan e bo kita si enyo ke kan e kan ina agbe no be ni twa ke oye agbe no to mi ni Asafoiatse iwo no ni ba ji igbeja no to e ni no ni sade amefe ni amefe iwo asongo tile no ni no na ni akeka bo kita ni ibala ke oto Asafoiatse Tsilefoiatse o fa ne te fi o te ndi ocho Shippi iwo je ni tamo akemoko no alo chino ni jeje no wo ka bia ne we are setting the record straight won ta oni no ni ji wo no wo ba de mo je me Asafoiatse onyo ocho Tsilefoiatse do be Tsilemi onyo ocho Asafoiatse no ba asongo jo ni doni wo yu o je ake ke wo yu about Shippi are you about Shippi agbeteko je Shippi agbeteko as a person she ayu ake bote we bi amejimini Tsilefoiatse me osoro we bi amejimini Asafoiatse me full stop moko bedo ko ni chona kan ni bi e ko don no man no adamo na ba che bo Shippi siko yo sia oje osokuru no we tafra oje man che we no mo ko do okay mena mi hu Shippi ni e o fa de wo be problem with it siko bata man Shippi he no ke man Shippi jibo e le ba no no ji wo yue mo pe thank you.